Hello. Testing the voice. Okay, I'm testing the voice. My voice, sorry. That probably sounded conceited, but I gotta check that. Sometimes it doesn't sound too good. I have to reboot it. Okie dokie. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. This is unedited, unscripted, because that's how I roll. I also don't, well, I have to admit to an influence of the AI probably from reading and not realizing that it's all AI. Now it's easy to see it is, especially when the double dash shows up. I've never used a double dash, I never even heard of it. I know they're in silent movie subtitles, but I never thought about it. What am I gonna say? Alright, I have one screenshot to go with for sure. I'm getting like no page stats, but I think that's them. Some of my videos are very good, and the whole premise of my channel is pretty good on how they're all scripted. And I came up with screen recordings, and I've been doing it. I had a demo thing I was using and doing it differently at first, and maybe better back then. I have scoop after scoop, like big scoops, but I don't feel compelled to list them out. The Stauber thing is right there. That's a recent one. But the internet isn't an avenue for us anymore. Or people are scared to post on my channel to chip in. They don't want to be on the list of Tokyo Shemp participants. The tweet, I'm putting up Candace Owens' tweet. She predicted 9/11 styled events for the second week in December. That means she nailed it. Yet, if one goes to Reddit conspiracy, they have it that people are nuts if to think she got that prediction correct. Candace Owens is is the COINTELPRO. She's a COINTELPRO agent. She's getting big numbers, but I think they're fake. Now they're not completely fake. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying all stats are fake. Guy like me gets ripped off. Someone like Jimmy Dore, they they do a double whammy on the public by tying themselves to the hip, tying the shows, making it incestuous. They don't care that it's obvious they're all connected without it adding up. Now, I put them on mute, but when I took them off mute, I notice they're talking too fast. Like, no way is that real. And then I could read it, the closed caption. I read it, but I see that's kind of not completely accurate and reliable. But I looked into it enough to see the patterns. Like the AI loves to say, you know. And across the board, all these people are going, you know, you know, you know. I never say, you know. I know I don't say that one. Okay, I say, I have said, and look, I used to say right, but I kept hearing them saying right, 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 right. And I just told myself I'm not using that one. Now I can't use that one. Okie dokie. But she nailed that tweet, and she's COINTELPROing in on it. She's on Rogan, she's on Door. They're all on each other's shows. Even a guy like Scott Horton, who's tied to the Brett Kimberlin shit through Larissa Alexandrovna, for anyone who remembers that stuff. There must have been AI back then too, somehow. Fake comments. The old ways won't work to hash out how fake they are. My new analogy, if I repeated it a lot, would be we're cats to them and they're pointing the laser and we can never get to that laser. So don't use a laser pointer with the cats. It's not. Come on, cats are. If you just chill out, they have the same. I heard they have the same brain shape as the human. They moved in with the human. They love the human. But not if you're not gonna treat them as on their level. That's why they jump up high. They want to say like, I want to be on your level. But anyway, I'm getting off the point. They want us to chase stuff. So even though it gets really easy to point shit out, it ends up not mattering because they control every show in that they're all in on it. And that sounded ridiculous back in the day when I was saying that. But nowadays they're saying it. They're trying to wash us. I think I read someone use that phrase, because I don't steal shit. Maybe, C. Wright Mills spoke of circumscribing. So they're trying to circumscribe. So there might have been a guy, Jesus. Say like Jesus wasn't made up, and that there was actually a person, like he was a Julian Assange or something of the day, but for religion and so all that type of ramifications. So let's assume that Jesus was a real human being. They can't just erase that. Everyone knew Jesus Christ back then. They had to take the ideas, the way they steal from the Eastern philosophy. It's funny though, because I think I tapped into something where what I think is they only succeed because if they only succeed because we give them the we support, somehow prop it up by talking about it. We got to take over YouTube as a utility, not just YouTube, but all of them. But if we started with one place first, we have to strategize around the politician problem. We have to strategize against all of them. We have to take it from the point of view of the numbers, how we totally outnumber the Freemason. So Candace Owens, it took me a long time to get back to the point. Candace Owens, they're all Freemasons. I'm not just, fuck them for trying to spin it as kookiness. Fuck that. They're all Freemasons. She even flashed this, I got Door and Kirk. I put it on 25% and muted. I just like to take a quick peek at these individuals because they're suspects to me. They're criminals to me, in my opinion. And they're all scripted. Oh, dorm mimic. I'm going to get to the Brown University thing and the Bondi thing. Because Bondi Bay, not the. Is that the Attorney General's name, too? I'm going to get to that stuff because that's what the tweet is. And then I was saying that the Reddit conspiracy, it is a waste of time. They try here and there to circumscribe truth into it so people will go like, well, there's still about 10% of that forum that seems important. No. That's Eglin Air Force Base running that ship. Eglin Air Force Base. What did they say? Ghislaine Maxwell was running the political one. And it's not just Reddit, but that was a big website that allowed probably any random person to participate. Not everyone's going to want to make videos or even speak or even write the blog days. This is unscripted. Just a reminder of that. So we're going to get to those bad events that recently happened. She predicted, I'm staying logical. The point is that the tweet, staying logical, she said there'd be a 9/11 styled event, and there are two of them, and the thread, there was hardly anything over there. I looked a couple hours ago. Once I realized they let the suspect go at Brown, and I don't really know much about the Bondi Bay thing other than there is the Israel connection through Judaism. I'm not sure though, but I'm positive there's a connection with either Israel or Jewish people. Probably more likely Jewish people. I mean, there is a dichotomy. I got Audacity in front of me. The thing glitched, crashed. I'm not sure if the last point made it through. About Bondi Bay. So there is a 9/11. They're trying at Reddit conspiracy to say there's no connection and that she missed the prediction. I'm saying she nailed it, and she's COINTELPRO. Brown University, the connection was, I'm fairly sure that the professor, if this is wrong, then someone deliberately put this out as wrong info. So I guess we have to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I did study social theory in Ireland, and I'm honest, and the unscripted part I think is the most important. I'm trying to lead by example of how to press forward for the younger people. I have attention deficit also, so I might and autism, so I might zone out here and there, and there'll be a couple seconds it goes poof, and I don't know what I'm talking about. She nailed it, but the Reddit conspiracy is saying she didn't, and it's ridiculous. I mean, they're acting like the debunker type. And then one realizes the two hands of the same bird or some whatever for phrases, cliches. How are they like 9/11? Well, the debunker AI bots were saying, I didn't see no planes going into buildings in Australia, or she was talking about America, or she was referring I didn't catch the context. I guess she was replying to something else. This isn't about Candace Owens only, and the only thing that this is about, that I'm for my point, is that tweet that she made. But it's not a personality thing where, like, let's talk about Meghan Markle tonight, and we're also going to talk about uh, Kendall Kylie Jenner, who the uh, I lost my train of thought. But I'm doing much better in regards to living life outside of the internet. I think if we make shows like this, that it counts as off internet and off of social media. I mean that for people who listen to this type of thing, unscripted and sort of spiritual in that way, down to earth, having nothing to do with it, yet notices it just like you, the royal you. Is there a royal you? There has to. There should be. There's a royal we. Anyway, I get distracted by myself. Brown University. I think there might be a Jewish connection with the. I stuttered. Professor. It was apparently. I'm going by memory. Thank God for ad blocker. I get into Daily Mail, but it sucks because they're doing all this exclusive, or you have to pay for it. So maybe I'll head to stop going to there. The thing about, I like to read while I'm eating food. It's that thing. Um, the professor. It was a review, I think for the midterm exam. Is that? Oh no, it's the end of the semester. Is that how it works? Is this the end of a semester? I forget all that. I think it is. So not midterm. So it was a study group taught by the teacher assistant, the grad student who might want to be a professor or something. They're already in they're in the master's program or something, it sounds like, and maybe it was a freshman undergrad type. Anyway, it wasn't the professor, but the professor was Jewish. She does, I think, unless it was fake news. I saw something about she was in the Judaic studies. That it was an economics class. I think I saw something about it was in a geography building. I'm not sure though. So that would be a connection there. And then the other odd thing I noticed was the person they smeared. That's the kind of mistake that just shouldn't ever happen, meaning it might have been deliberate. And then there's another guy in Wisconsin with the same exact name. Someone came up with that. It popped out that there's another guy. There was a LinkedIn of another guy with the same name, Brent Erickson. I forget the first name, maybe Brendan. I forget. But this guy wasn't just military like the guy smeared. He was cyber warfare. So this thing at Brown seems to be the proverbial 9/11 inside job. Made it happen on purpose. And somehow I bet all these people can't know about that. The ones who are fronting, like a Jimmy Dore, the Erica Kirk, all these actors and actresses, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, they can't know that. I bet they don't know that. I can see Erica Kirk as crazy looking misaligned eyes. I looked up, thank God the machine didn't glitch out. I hate that. I hate that they can't give us a fair shake. Be it with the algorithm, be it with everything, and they're never gonna, it's adversarial. I said that a couple weeks ago or some point, and then I noticed back that if you repeat stuff, I had a professor, he actually taught us to, it's okay to repeat it. He's like, I'm repeating it because it's important. That they're 100% scripted. It's like that Wizard of So they make a movie like Wizard of Oz or The Emperor Has No Clothes, The Fable. They make that thing to make to condition us that it's not true. Or like Vietnam War was bad, but that was blah blah. I should have came up with a thought for that one. But maybe people know what I mean. Glitched out again. So why can't they give us that fair shake? Why do they have... Yet again, it just glitched. Why can't they give us the fair shake? Why do they have to cheat and put the AI into it, which makes program... This keeps glitching on me. Keeps crashing. All I'm doing is talking into the microphone. They're fucking with me, I think. Well, they're fucking with all of us. So the COINTELPRO actress nailed the tweet. 9/11 styled event. That's pretty much made it happen on purpose to then put in the Patriot Act and a new world order type, a new order. The parameter says you can say new world order and talk up the Freemasons and Vatican and UFOs and throw in some Bigfoot. And then it's the parameters like, no, I mean, Noam Chomsky would even let you publish that. He likes a very strenuous debate within certain parameters. Now that's the thing. Noam Chomsky explains that they allow very strenuous debate within the parameters. And that's supposed to represent freedom of speech, that Noam Chomsky said it. If you or I say it, we get like one view. Okay, I shut off the Wi-Fi, and it's just me talking into the Audacity, and hopefully that'll stop it from crashing. It kept crashing. It got worse and worse. It said there's too many applications trying to do this. It's bizarre. I see the recycle bin is full. I'm going to empty that thing. Empty recycle bin. It's made so like they're not even letting me down. The memory gets used up so quick. I have to erase stuff. I don't really care. I know like we're the universe, so it's like sand. We don't disappear though, and we're not just sand. But I'm not worried about preservation of social media and internet. I believe the memory never is deleted. I'm not talking about internet or any of this stuff. I mean for us as individual beings who can speak, think, make decisions, meditate, understand, grasp. The professor who said it's okay to be repetitive, he also said that once something is seen clearly, it's done. Very similar, I think, to a Krishnamurti. I think that was his. I think that was the professor's point. It was on a course on three historic thinkers. I'll just mention them. David Hume, who said we have to experience stuff to know it's true. And the other guy was was it Descartes? No, yeah, Descartes. I think I'm mixing courses. But it was it yeah, it had to be Descartes. It's gonna say John Locke. But that's a different. Now I'm getting myself a little confused. But definitely David Hume. He said we don't know the sun's gonna come up in the morning until it does. Haha, it just glitched out again. I think that's from Deep State fucking with me. I don't know any other explanation why that would glitch out and just stop. I think they should fucking go to Sweden on a one-way ticket, each and every one of them. They're upset that I proved that Joe Rogan's reading off of a teleprompter for 2 to 3 hours with his people he doesn't even know. Saw Dave Chappelle was on a year ago or whenever. Fucking loser. Scripted. Damn, I was on a good flow too until that. Oh yeah, David Hume. So we have to experience it. And then Descartes is like all reason, all logic. 2 plus 2 is always 4, whether we're awake or asleep. And then Immanuel Kant, that guy was like, well, that's probably where Reagan got it. He went, well, Kant said there's some things you can know, there's some things you gotta experience. He like hedged the bets. But anyway, the main point before this glitches out again and crashes. I forgot the attention deficit. It was the professor who was saying, like, I'm repeating this because it's important. And he said, once something's understood, it's in the bank. Or maybe I'm confusing the professor with Krishnamurti, who I think was completely, not completely, he was somewhat compromised. He's a little scared baby cat, baby cat.
It glitched again. Fucking losers. Cause they're all scripted fucking deformed bitches reading AI off of hidden teleprompters. Yeah, this total junkie trash called Candace Owens, probably a fake name. And she made this tweet about 9/11 style violence. And it happened. So the point isn't about planes going into buildings. The point is about there's some inside job which leads to legislation. So right now, the Brown University, there's a serial killer, a mass murderer. I don't know about if it's serial killing yet. It's a mass killer out there who they somehow got away. They have no photos of him. They get, I know, well, that's a city. That shouldn't have been like, oh, I saw in the old days, I get into the details of it. I did notice that the guy's putting on a gate. A lot of these people now, I've seen it multiple times. They have a gate. They're trying to hide their gate. So they drag one leg. I thought I saw him doing a bit of that. The chubby guy. So they're acting like the guy's on the loose and they don't even know who it is. Why did they go for that other guy? Why were they so sure about that other guy? Or they weren't sure. Or they had him lined up for that to happen if it was an inside job. Now, how does an inside job like that happen? How does a JFK get assassinated and with no ramifications, no consequences? How come there are never any consequences? Except it's like Hal Turner asked for it. Who else it goes wrong for them, even though they're in on it? They cross some sort of line where there's just no way about it. They're gonna. There's Hal Turner went to prison, I think, for a little bit. I'm not sure on that. I think he did though. Oliver North didn't go to. I don't think Oliver North ended up in prison. So no one got in trouble for the Iran Contra. No one got in trouble for the JFK and how they bullied everyone. And it all tied into divide and conquer, uh, learned helplessness. They their plan has been to teach us helplessness. I go unscripted. I learn vocals. Uh, I don't edit gaps or anything anymore like that. To lead the as an example for younger people, to create a way out of this big mess. The tech companies, if they were utilities, then that would be pretty good. The cream would rise to the top. There'd be no tilting of the And there'd be no algorithm, there'd be no AI. The language learning model should be illegal. It's theft. It's perverted and demented. So the COINTELPRO actress, Candace Owens, nailed the thingies, her tweet. The Brown University, both of them can be tied. Apparently, the Brown University one can be tied into the Israel thing. A little bit, at least. If one wanted to. Although I don't see that being pushed. Although it doesn't have to be if it's true. It's just going to be common knowledge. And it adds a bit of reality to the fake. Um, so now that type of thing, if it's all scripted fake for the Brown University, then the 9/11 style of it is there must be better surveillance to capture picture video of people on the street, of anyone on the streets, to the degree that China does it. I think China is already at that point, and they've been there for years. Saw a documentary on it. If you littered a rapper, I think in China, somehow with their satellites or something, the fine is already in the mail. So that's how her tweet would be true. And the Bondi Bay one would be true too. The only debunking point is apparently planes didn't fly into buildings. And then I think that's a COINTELPRO actress. That means that's an inside job. They're killing two birds with one stone. They get their narrative cooking for Candace. I don't believe she's getting over 1 million view stats just by showing up. I don't understand how any of this is real. I do not believe in their stats one bit. Who the hell is watching Rogan? I don't believe it. Now, if Dave Chappelle's on, I believe it quite a bit. They're not like 9 million, maybe 1 million for Chappelle. I think the famous people might get 1 million. I don't think it's that much, though. Not when they're nobodies and it's stupid. And all the comments being language learning, I think, shows that their stats are fake and not true. And I think just looking at those actors up and down the board, how discredited they are, how they tie themselves to the hip. So you have someone like Cenk Uygur not even hiding it. They don't even hide it that they're all tied to the hip. And the final psychological operation part of it is they never concede defeat. So they'll just keep rolling it out. Those actors will, their faces will tweak out more and more. And people like you and I, if anyone else is out there making this type of video, or if you're even just on the same page as me, just never had the experience that would lead to what I ended up doing there, but that you agree, that this idea of a scripted internet, 100% tied, all hits tied, it just never goes viral. They're controlling completely what is shown. It's like TV. Back in the day, we had no, maybe community cable TV was a breakthrough. But even there, that's a limited reach. Our reach is zero. The revolution will not be televised, so the revolution will not show up on social media either, is what that means. The Gilharan song. I think that's his name. This is over 40 minutes. That'll be enough. It hasn't glitched out in quite a bit. I imagine the deep state decided to. They could see that I'm within parameters, and they're like, just let it roll. Let the terrorist speak. He's within the parameters. Not a maybe. What's the word? An agitator. They call me. They wouldn't call me terrorist. They'd say the agitator. They'd sound like Mickey in the Rocky movie. You're a bum, Rock. Clean out your locker. You're a bum. You're an agitator. No, that's from The Graduate. That's where that's from. It was Mr. Roper, Norman Phil. He's like Dustin Hoffman, who ended up playing Lenny Bruce. He goes, "You're an agitator." I remember him from the Ropers. He would go, "Helen," and she'd go, "Stanley, Helen, Stanley." Okay, that's about all I got. But I will add that no one else in that show has a voice that anyone could mimic. No, John Ritter. Who the hell could mimic him? I don't even know what he sounds. Joyce DeWitt. Who are the other ones? Chrissy Summers. I couldn't do her. I forget her real name. She was funny, but she wanted more money and I don't know. Rich Cunningham almost quit because they want to call it Fonzie's Happy Days. So each generation has its own psyops to overcome. That was the point of that. All right. On that note, what is the note? The note is that the internet sucks. Social media sucks. It's the government. All those guys are they're fucking drug junkie shit with non-disclosure agreements, and they're stuck being COINTELPRO rats. They front for everything. Jimmy Dore, Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, Tim Pool, they're all full of shit, fake fights. They're all on the same payroll, U.S. military, Five Eyes, Freemasonry, running throughout it all. Maybe they're not all Freemasons, but I bet a huge percentage of it is Freemasons. Maybe all of it is. I don't know. Cops are Freemasons, so all cops are Freemasons, aren't? Where am I wrong in that? Every president has been a Freemason, all of NASA. All of this is it's all in our faces, the Freemasonry. It's bullshit. Erica Kirk flashing devil horns. They probably weren't even married, and those kids weren't theirs, I bet. A gentleman's bed. Maybe they were married. But they probably weren't. And I bet maybe JD Vance isn't married to Bush. Who the hell knows? They look up signature reduction. That says it all. I outed a number of funny trolls. It's funny as fuck. The Dairy Queen Karen. I know there's another Dairy Queen Karen, but not the one who's like, I forget who the second Dairy Queen Karen. But the Jenna Beck who trolled on me with Autumn Sword. I know I only get like one page view now, but back in the day they were all over me. It's fucked up. I mean, not that I was upset, but it was so fucking weird. And this is like the end game where I think they're just conceding that they can't beat me. They can't win in regards to myself. So they don't, I get like, they're putting me down as one page view now. And of course, in the meantime, Jimmy Dore, oh yeah, he mimicked me again. I just want to mention it. What did he mimic me? It was, oh, he said the Erica Kirk interview was scripted, completely scripted on the news. So that's their end game. That's their end game. Their end game is that scene in Platoon. They're smoking weed out of their rifle. They made like a rifle bong. And then the bad guy comes in and he goes, you guys smoking that? You think you know reality. I'm reality. That's 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 Trump, the deep state fronted by Trump. This is so fucking funny. I think that they're exposed. They get all these fake stats going on and no real comments. And anyone can deduce what an AI comment is. They're stupid. They're repetitive. It might be tough to deduce some of those quick answer ones, but most of them seem really easy to say, like, yup. If you don't, I'm saying no cherry pickings needed. Same as with watching these losers. So you put them on mute, you go to 25%, you crop out, you find a way to crop out the distractions of their hands, and you just look at follow their eyes, and you'll just see what they're doing. Sometimes you have to move around a bit from side to side, because if you're looking straight on at the screen, it's tough to pick up their eyeballs. They're going to each end of the room and rapidly. But when it's on slow motion and mute and cropped out, they can't hide it. So you do that, you go to one end or the other end of the monitor, and you'll see exactly what that they're scripted, reading off of hidden teleprompters, acting like it's all normal that that's going on, and that they have these 2 3 hour shows just talk with these fake dialogues, all formulaic. It's like fuck them. They're so exposed that they have to go to a total blockade on free speech channels like myself. Have nice nights.